Hi, Bother Brigade. Here's what's bothering me today. Remember how a while ago we talked about Texas's terrible anti-trans teen law, basically outlawing them in the state, and saying that if they exist at all, they're going to call Child Protective Services on them. And this was ostensibly done in terms of protecting children, because that's something Greg Abbott and the Republicans and conservatives in general just really care about, right? That's also why they have super restrictive abortion laws, and it's why they're happy that there are kids in cages on the border. No, they care about American children, right? Including these poor, misguided trans children, right? So, they're doing this awful thing with the best of intentions. It's about protecting the children. Well, we have a very unfortunate update to this lovely attempt at protecting children. Distraught over orders to investigate trans kids' families, Texas child welfare workers are resigning. Yeah, and, it's a whole really long article. I encourage everyone to read it. The link will be in the description down below. However, there's a couple parts that really stand out to me. We're not going to go over the whole thing, but just some really key points that I really want to stress here. While the Attorney General's office has gone to great lengths to defend the governor's directive in court, the agency responsible for carrying out the investigations has been roiled by resistance and resignations as employees struggle with ethical questions they've never faced before. More than half a dozen child abuse investigators told the Texas Tribune that they either have resigned or are actively job hunting as a result of the directive. Hang on, it gets worse. The employees, most of whom spoke on the condition of anonymity to protect their jobs, said they feel conflicted, unwilling to undertake what they see as discriminatory investigations and critical of the agency's internal response to requests for guidance, but haunted by what a mass exodus of experienced child abuse investigators would mean for the state's most vulnerable children. Things are already slipping through the cracks. We will see investigations that get closed where intervention could have occurred, one supervisor said, and children will die in Texas. Yeah, that's where we are now, with ostensibly the goal of protecting children by targeting trans kids for having the fucking audacity to exist in Greg Abbott's Texas. The actual end result is that these workers who are taking principled ethical stands, but, admittedly feeling very conflicted about doing so, the result is that actual, real children facing abuse, whether it's sexual, physical, or a different kind, they are being lost in the cracks. They are suffering and potentially dying, all because of transphobia and transmisogyny. So yeah, I would really love to see how, pro-life people square this all away in their little heads, because this should be objectively horrifying to everyone, right? You should be horrified that this whole situation has led to more kids that you have the audacity to pretend to care about actually suffering and potentially dying when they didn't need to. All because, trans people scary. Like, words cannot express my sincere anger and frustration and revulsion at what's going on in Texas right now that is harming not only trans kids and their families, but other children who are not even trans, who are caught in the crossfire because of bigotry. And I can only imagine the struggle that these actual workers have gone through, right? Because they don't want more children to be harmed, but at the same time, they also understood that by participating in this latest directive, they would be harming children. So no matter what happens, right, even with their best of intentions, children get harmed, all because Greg Abbott and some sleazy old white men in Texas decided, no, you know what? We've had some real problems. Please pay no attention to us, totally screwing the pooch with the winter storm and enriching our friends and being corrupt as all hell. Look, see, we're banning trans people. Love us again. It's all so fucking disgusting. And as a result, children who, again, whether they're trans or not, are being hurt. The end result of Greg Abbott and Texas's bullshittery is that children are being harmed. No matter what happens, children are being harmed. So yeah, an unfortunate fucking update to an already terrible situation in the state of Texas. Who needs to mess with Texas when it so beautifully messes with itself, am I right? And what's so especially infuriating about all of this is that it's going to be very difficult for Texas, even if they rescind this, bigoted trans bill, right? Even if they rescind that, they've already lost a bunch of talented and capable people to different jobs and job markets, possibly different states, right? And as a result of that, cases will have been lost, meaning more abuse is going to go unmarked and unchecked while already understaffed. So innocent children, through no fault of their own, are being hurt because Greg Abbott can't stand other children through no fault of their own simply desiring to exist and be themselves. And in order to distract from his absolutely abysmal handling of the storm that killed Texans, right? And all his other corruption and terribleness with Epcot and everything, that is just, being covered up by all this shittiness. But the price being paid are literally abused children. It's all so disgusting and gross and unfortunate, and none of it needed to happen. And all that's being left in the wake of it is the suffering, the needless suffering of children that people like Greg Abbott and his supporters pretend to care about. That's what's bothering me today.